Welcome to our channel, English with NS. Hi guys, this is a part 7 of series of figures of speech, in which we will learn about next literary term, which is irony, and its 3 types, which are situational irony, verbal irony, and dramatic irony. If you want to revise all previous literary terms, I am attaching the links in description. If you are interested in all English grammatical topics, please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Now, let's get started. First of all, we will learn what is irony. Irony is a literary and rhetorical device in which there is a contrast between expectation and reality. This often involves saying one thing but meaning another. Or we can say, when the actual outcome of a situation is different from what is expected. For example, firefighters are trained to put out fires, so it's ironic that their own building would catch fire. If a pilot is afraid of height, it's ironic, because pilots fly planes high above the ground regularly, so you'd expect them to be comfortable with heights. Since an English teacher is supposed to teach proper grammar, it's ironic if they themselves make grammatical errors. These examples show how irony often involves a twist between what we expect and what actually happens. I hope you understood the concept of irony now. Let's move towards its types. First one is situational irony. Situational irony occurs when there is a significant difference between what is expected to happen and what actually happens. This type of irony often involves a twist or an unexpected outcome that contrasts sharply with what was anticipated. Previously discussed examples also come under situational irony. Let's look into some more examples. Lifeguards are trained to save people from drowning, so it is ironic and unexpected if a lifeguard were to drown. You'd expect a fitness instructor to be in peak physical condition, yet they're overweight. Now, let's discuss the examples of situational irony in literature. The Gift of the Magi, by O. Henry. A young couple, Jim and Della, each sell their most prized possession to buy a Christmas gift for the other. Della sells her long hair to buy a chain for Jim's watch, while Jim sells his watch to buy combs for Della's hair. Now the irony is, the gifts they buy are now useless, as each has sacrificed the very thing that would have made the gift valuable. Next example is The Necklace, by Guy de Maupassant. Matilda borrows a necklace to appear wealthy at a party, but loses it and replaces it with an expensive duplicate. She and her husband spend years paying off the debt, only to learn that the original necklace was a cheap imitation. Now the irony is, the couple undergoes significant hardship to replace what was actually a worthless piece of jewelry. Next example is Animal Farm, by George Orwell. The animals on the farm overthrow their human owner, expecting to create an equal society. Over time, the pigs become just as oppressive as the humans they replaced. The initial goal of equality and freedom leads to a situation that mirrors the original oppression. Now, let's move towards the second type of irony, which is verbal irony. Verbal irony is when someone says something but means the opposite. It often involves sarcasm or understatement, where the literal meaning of the words contrasts sharply with the intended meaning. For example, "Oh, fantastic, my car broke down." The speaker is actually upset or annoyed that her car broke down, but she uses the word fantastic to express the opposite. "What a beautiful view," said while looking at a garbage pile. The speaker is implying the view is ugly by saying the opposite. "Nice clean water I've got here," said about a muddy water. The speaker is pointing out the dirtiness of the water by sarcastically calling it clean. Let's look at the examples of verbal irony in literature. Animal Farm, by George Orwell. "The pigs declare, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others." The statement is a prime example of verbal irony, as it contradicts itself. It highlights the hypocrisy and corruption of the leadership on the farm. The Crucible, by Arthur Miller. John Proctor says, "I say, God is dead." Proctor's exclamation is ironic, because he is not literally saying that God is dead, but rather expressing his despair over the lack of justice and truth in the society around him. Julius Caesar, by William Shakespeare. In Mark Antony's funeral speech, he repeatedly refers to Brutus as an honorable man, while clearly implying the opposite. Antony's use of honorable is ironic, because he is suggesting that Brutus's actions were anything but honorable, thereby questioning Brutus's integrity. Let's move towards the third type, which is dramatic irony. Dramatic irony occurs when the audience knows something that the characters do not, creating a contrast between the character's understanding of events and the audience's understanding. This can lead to tension, humor, or a deeper emotional impact, as the audience anticipates the consequences of the character's actions. Let's look into the examples. Romeo and Juliet, by William Shakespeare. When Romeo mistakenly believes Juliet is dead and drinks poison to join her in death, the audience knows that Juliet is actually alive. This creates dramatic tension as the audience watches the tragic consequences unfold. Othello, by William Shakespeare. Iago manipulates Othello into believing that his wife, Desdemona, has been unfaithful. The audience knows that Iago is lying, but Othello trusts him, leading to tragic consequences for Desdemona and Othello. Oedipus Rex, by Sophocles. Oedipus vows to find and punish the murderer of King Laius, unaware that he himself is the murderer. The audience knows Oedipus's true identity, which adds suspense and tragedy to the unfolding events. This was all about irony and its three types. I hope you understood well. In our next video, we will discuss some more figures of speech in detail. Until then, goodbye. Thanks for watching. If you liked our video, please like, subscribe and also press the bell icon. Plus, don't forget to comment and share.